remove one or two small leaves to reduce transpiration damage, in the same manner as the villagers would plant ivica. Medium value trees such as erema and basswood are also useful for transplanting because they grow so fast and quickly overtop competing weed species. Another medium value tree, lavula, is not recommended for transplanting as many of these trees die before they reach a commercial size. However, lavula is one of the most common trees to germinate after logging and shouldn't be cut for the first few tens, or even during later tens, unless it is shading out more valuable light-demanding trees. Within a few weeks of the first ten, vines start climbing around the valuable trees, so the areas that have been tended should be monitored. And once the competing vegetation starts to interfere with the growth of desired trees, tending should be carried out again. This process should be carried out every 3 or 4 months. Approximately 2 years after the first 10, when the desirable trees are above competition from weed species, no more tending will be necessary. Where competing vegetation is dense or as tall or even taller than the desired trees, weed species should be ring-barked rather than cut, as cutting a dense mass of vegetation can cause desirable trees to fall over with the weed species. The cost of the first 10 after logging depends on the amount of damage done during the logging operation and whether or not many commercial trees have regenerated. Bad logging causes large gaps in the canopy, which encourages low-valued pioneer species, wild bananas and other weeds. These large gaps often have to be filled with transplants of desirable species. So the worse the logging, the more expensive it is to reforest naturally. The Kandrian Gloucester forestry sector has established several Reforestation Naturally demonstration areas. The average cost for tending these areas is as follows. First 10, 4 to 5 person days per hectare. 22 kina including transplanting. Second 10, 3 person days per hectare. 15 kina. Third 10, 2 to 3 person days per hectare. 12 kina. Fourth 10, 2 to 3 person days per hectare. 10 kina. Fifth 10, 2 to 3 person days per hectare. 10 kina. Sixth and the final 10, 2 to 3 person days per hectare, 10 kina. Total 79 kina per hectare. Since 1990, most logging contractors have paid reforestation levies to the Forest Authority. The Papua New Guinea Forest Authority Board decision in March 1994 approved the use of a minimum of 60% of these levies to carry out reforestation in the project area where the levy was collected. The selective logging system allows for all trees of commercial value above 50 cm dBH to be felled and extracted, except for trees that are culturally significant to landowners. Example is galip tree. During logging, care should be taken not to damage potential crop trees. Much of the damage being caused to desirable residue trees during logging operations could be avoided if the trees were clearly marked before felling commences. If PCTs were clearly marked before logging and protected during the logging operation, there would be smaller sized gaps in the canopy, and therefore less opportunity for fast-growing pioneer species and vines to dominate regeneration. This would considerably reduce the cost of reforestation naturally. The current practice of only marking trees for felling can be confusing to the chainsaw operator, as he has only a broad directional arrow to follow. And he is surrounded by residual trees, only a few of which are actually potential crop trees. Farah, is that was the tree which was featured in the Lukautim Bus?
Yes, that's right. That was the tree that Islam and I marked.
Any future harvest would also have enhanced value if the potential crop trees were selected from high-valued species. These wow beets, which are Farah and Meslam marked as a potential crop tree in the video Lukautim Bus, has remained undamaged during the logging operation in this area. And as you can see, it is now a healthy tree. Farah, how much do you think this tree has grown?
Over the last 18 months, this tree has grown up to 1.25 centimeters in diameter.
So a 20 centimeter diameter tree can grow to a harvestable size within 30 years. And a 30 centimeter diameter can grow to a harvestable size within 20 years, provided the trees are not damaged during the logging operation. In order for landowners to carry out reforestation naturally, the following steps should be taken. Community awareness of the concept of reforestation naturally, carried out by National Forest Service officers and other interested organizations. Community decision. The community must discuss the issue and decide whether to set aside an area of land for long-term forest management. If the community agrees to reforest, there must be an agreement between landowners through incorporated land groups or clan land usage agreements and a forest authority to reforest using natural regeneration. Contracts must be drawn up between forest authority and the landowners or youth groups approved by clan leaders from the area to be reforested to carry out tending work. Training of landowners approved by clan leaders to carry out the work. The training would be provided by National Forest Service officers. Tending of regenerating commercial and culturally significant species by cutting vines and weed species, transplanting with valuable trees where necessary.
Amba.